Earthlings. Are you ready to be part of the Roundup? Miss Earth Crown presents the MEC Pageant Roundup Series, a unique review, commentary, talk, and engagement show where you take control. Tell us what or who you want us to talk about and how you want the show to go, or join us live with guest commentators every week and more surprises. The Roundup begins October 3rd, only here on Miss Earth Crown.
Isang makakalikasang umaga, tanghali, gabi, or in English, an early morning, afternoon, and evening to you all. Welcome to the Miss Earth Crown Roundup series. I am Mark Ligatchalian, and I am the editor-in-chief of Miss Earth Crown. And I feel excited and I've been waiting for this moment because I'm back to hosting. And tonight, we hope to engage you because the Miss Earth Crown Roundup is actually about a review. It's a commentary, it's a talk, and an opportunity to engage you fans about the latest that happened in the past few weeks since Miss Earth now has officially commenced. So, without further ado, before I go over the different segments for our Roundup series, let me introduce to you my colleagues. So let me introduce first our Miss Earth Crown Creative Consultant Head, Emmanuel Feliciano. Hi, say hi.
Hey, hello everybody, and my camera is like this right now. Hello everyone, my name is Emmanuel Feliciano, and I am the Creative Content Head of Miss Earth Crown, and I will be one of your co-hosts for this evening. And also, as usual, as you know, I will be helping read out your shout-out comments, your messages of support, and then later on, whatever we would request you to do. So please stay tuned because tonight you are going to do more than just to ask questions and give your shout out request because this night is for you. But before anything else, I'll give you back to Mark first.
Thank you so much, Eman. So I'm very excited as well to talk and engage with another colleague of mine. I call him one of the pillars of Miss Earth Crown.
Wow.
And yes, he's a pillar. So he's a major driving force, okay, for our small organization. Our Miss Earth Crown Chief Correspondent, Alfonso Emmanuel Sibilano, or Nonoy. Hi, Noy. Say hi to everyone.
I'm gonna cry right now. I'm a pillar. Thank you, Marky, for that generous introduction. Hello, everyone. My name is Noy Sibilan, and I am the Chief Correspondent of Miss Earth Crown. I'm so happy because I'm not main hosting tonight. I am only going to be enjoying the fun, the conversation. But then, of course, it's going to be our very first episode for our MEC Roundup series for Miss Earth 2020. So please, to all of our fans, engage with us in a little bit. Let's enjoy the night. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you so much. But here's the thing. Wait, there's more. Because aside from your regular hosts, we also have invited queens. Okay, so this is an opportunity for these queens to, of course, share their thoughts about what transpired the past few weeks. Plus, later we'll ask them what they've been busy with and what they'd like to promote, whether they advocacy or any special activities that they've completed. But before that, let me introduce to you our special guests. Let me introduce our reigning Miss Earth Miss Earth Philippines Water, Gianna Llanes. Hi, Gianna.
Hi! Isang makakalikasang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Here from Mandaluyong with my puppy Bean. Can I just say I am so excited to be here on Miss Earth Crown because I love you guys, Sir Emma, Noy, Sir Marky. And level up na rin ang equipment nyo and background. This is live. You feel like you guys are taking this seriously. I was telling you earlier off cam, I'm sure so many of the people watching right now can relate. all of the updates I'm getting from Miss Earth are really from Miss Earth Crown. You guys are on it. You work so hard. Really just putting you up there right now, but you guys are amazing, and I am so honored that you invited me to be one of your guest correspondents here for this episode today, for your Roundup episode. So thank you guys for inviting me.
You're always welcome. Thank you for taking the time.
Wow.
I know that you've been busy. All right.
Yeah,
So we are.
Gianna was just moderating for Earth Talk before this.
Yes.
So thank you so much.
So thank you for taking the time. All right. So up with our next special guest. Okay. Let me introduce to you our Miss Nebraska Earth, Angel Strong.
Mabuhay Philippines and Mabuhay Earthlings. Thank you so much to Miss Earth Crown for having me as well. I literally cried when I got invited. So thank you again. I really enjoy being on this. You guys are a lot of fun. So I'm really excited for today.
We are also very excited as well for you. So let's just enjoy this moment. All right. So thank you to our guests, Gianna and Angel. So before we move on, today is a very special day because we have different segments, all new. Okay, and these segments would hopefully give us an opportunity to hear each other's thoughts, and would also like to encourage you, our Earthlings, to share your thoughts in the comment section below. I'd like it to be noisy. I'd like you to share your thoughts. We'll have different segments. First segment actually would be what we call a hashtag recap, to talk about what transpired the past few weeks. Second segment would be an Earth Talk takeaways, of course, to talk about the recent Earth Talks. And third segment would be what we call the Earth Talk Stars. Maybe later you'll find out what this would be. Okay. And the last one would be MECQ, which is a good kind of MECQ, an MECQ that you would all want. All right. So we'll find out later what that is. Okay. So I hope you are all ready for that roundup, for the roundup segments. So I think it's about time for us to start with our very first segment, which I will host, which we call our hashtag recap. Eman? Again, hashtag recap.
So this is the recap dance.
So this is a recap dance. Well, before the intro video. Wow, I love that intro video. Okay. As mentioned to you, the hashtag recap will talk about, we'll have a rundown of what transpired the past few weeks, ranging from number one, I think our first one would be our new appointments. So I'd like to look at the slide for the new appointments because this month, or rather this week, there were a few surprise delegates that were appointed. Okay. And I think one of the most recent appointments that we saw would be the countries which I thought will no longer send delegates. So we have delegates that were appointed under the countries of Reunion Island. Okay, we also have delegates that were appointed or surprise delegates who would be sending their first ever delegate in their country. So we'll probably hear the thoughts first of Nonoy. What can you say about this current appointments for the week? Okay, because we have had girls. We thought initially that we will only be expecting 70 delegates, but you know what? To date, we would be expecting around 79 delegates. So again, these are the new Echo Angels that were appointed this week. We have Syria, Reunion Island, Greece, Italy, Denmark, Mauritius, Estonia, Kenya, UK, and Vietnam. So I'd like to hear Nonoy's thoughts. Okay, so what can you say about this newly appointed delegates? Were there surprises for you? Were you really expecting them to be appointed or even crowned? What can you say, Nonoy?
Well, of course, I'm super delighted to see back a lot of our countries this year. As a whole, all of the fans, all of the Earthlings were really happy to see that Before we were just expecting around 70 or 75, but then now we are on the road to 80 to 90 candidates for this year. So good job to all of the countries. And I think this is a welcome treat for all of the fans because we have a mix of like returning countries and debuts for this year.
Agree.
I actually think, yes, I think we're going to have one spot for one specific country here. But then overall, I'm really happy to see all of these countries competing this year at Miss Earth 2020. So I can't wait for what's going to unfold for this time. Yes.
Agree. You know what? I didn't also expect that there will be overwhelming support. Okay, when it
Yes.
comes to sending a delegate. I even watched Madame Lorraine getting interviewed in one of the TV stations in Manila, and she said that I think we'll be expecting 80 to 95. But for now, to date, we have 79. All right, so that's a lot of delegates. I'd like to hear Angel because you reacted. You said when I said we're expecting 90 or 95. What can you say about the overwhelming support, the number of delegates that are about to join Miss Earth?
Well, I will say the one thing I kept hearing when they originally announced the virtual competition is that a lot of people just thought they weren't going to have that many delegates because there wouldn't be a huge number of people wanting to go. But I think what actually ended up transpiring, especially with some of our new queens from countries that are debuting, such as Syria, is that it's actually giving a chance for girls to go. When you are from a country that doesn't have a lot of options when it comes to getting out of your country, it is actually really useful to have this starting point. So I think it's actually helped us get more delegates, and I'm hoping we can continue having this 80 to 95 delegates. I'm confident we are going to get past 85 at this point. So I'm very excited. And once again, congratulations to Syria. I'm very excited. I absolutely adored her photos.
Agree.
They were amazing.
Yes, I agree. And since you already mentioned Syria, okay, that's another point of discussion. Okay, the debut of Syria. Just to give everyone a trivia, are you aware that the last time Syria joined in a major international pageant was in 1965? I think it was at Miss World of 1965. And now, for the longest time, they'll be joining in another, of course, in Miss Earth, another major pageant. So I'd like to hear the thoughts of Gianna. What can you say about this historic debut of Syria?
Well, actually, Angel took the words right out of my mouth. I remember when it was first announced that it's going to be a virtual pageant. So many people were messaging me, doubting the fact that, Miss Earth would be able to get enough delegates. But for a country like Syria to be able to join as well shows that a virtual pageant isn't as negative as what everybody thinks. And not just that, during my time on Miss Philippines Earth, so many people would ask me, what is the point of a pageant nowadays? And Syria joining Miss Earth is exactly that point. Right now, when we have no means to communicate with each other except for technology, and when Syria is going through a journey of their own in their country, this pageant will give them the opportunity for the rest of the world to know more about them. And I think that's amazing. I think I'm excited to know more about what pageantry is like in Syria, what they have to offer. The winner is absolutely beautiful. I already checked out her Instagram as soon as she won because that photo in the pink tulle dress is so striking. So I'm actually crossing my fingers that I get her for a Miss Earth Talks. I think it would be very interesting.
Thank you. I agree with you when you said that I think technology will actually give them a chance, or give the girls a chance to have a wider platform. A lot of people will get to know them more. And I think that's the advantage of technology and going virtual as compared to the actual live pageant. The tendency of an actual live pageant is you only hear from girls who are what we call front runners, but you rarely hear about the not so popular, or probably lesser known delegates. So they have equal footing. So I totally agree with you on that, Gianna. Thank you. All right. So we are done with these debuts and the girls were crowned. Let's now talk about another major topic. It was a hot topic, I think, a few weeks ago, and we even had a chance. Actually, our correspondent Alfonso Nonoy had a chance to interview her in one of our loved partners in pageantry, Sash Factor. Okay, and this delegate is Miss Thailand. All right, and the reason why Nampech Tiapar, the reason why Nampech or Miss Thailand trended, okay, in pageantry is because I think this is the first time in modern history that another delegate in Miss Earth will try or will have her second chance for the crown. So I'd like to hear the thoughts of Eman. What can you say about the entering or the re-entering of Nampech Tiapar, her second try in Miss Earth 2020?
Oh well, there you go. Thank you very much. I'm back, by the way. I lost my mic for a while,
You're
so I
back.
had to like scramble and have it back. But
Welcome.
thank you so much. There you go. So, with Numpets, I think the reason why she trended is because it is it's kind of an orthodox to some for a queen, especially for someone who actually was able to enter the top 20 to be joining again, and not just again, but on the succeeding year. Um,
Yeah.
but I also watched Noise interview with Numpet, and they mentioned that they consulted the organization, Miss Earth organization, and discovered that there's no such rule banning a woman from entering the pageant again, as long as she has not won yet. And that was a good chance for her. A lot of people are saying that it does not set a good precedent for others who have thought of joining but never got the chance, or was not able to join again. But I think this is also a good chance for women of the earth, for our eco angels who have that great passion for the environment and are looking for a platform to showcase that passion and to perform that passion. And this is the perfect platform for Nampet. So that is my opinion on this one.
Thank you so much, Emma. And I'd like to hear the thoughts of course, the guy who interviewed Petch. What are your thoughts? What do you think are Nampech's chances? And of course, your initial thoughts.
Oh.
How? So I'll be challenging you now. Initial thoughts
Oh
since
my
you
God.
interviewed her, and what do you think are her chances? You had a chance to talk to her.
Yes.
Merry
Yes, actually,
Christmas,
it
Noy.
was yes, Merry Christmas to me with the Christmas lights. Well, it was a pretty interesting interview. That's for sure because I was able to ask all of these hot button topics being thrown at her, like days after she was reappointed as Miss Earth Thailand 2020. And I think bottom line is she seems unbothered about the issues being thrown at her, like because it was like mixed reactions coming from the fans, definitely because there were a lot who were so happy to have her back, but then there were still some who weren't really too happy about this entire thing, of a delegate who already placed in the top 20, competing again for a second time in a row. So I think for Nampech, what really is the most evident about her is that she wanted to join again because she wanted to use the platform of Miss Earth once again to further her platform. I mean, bottom line, that is her main goal and objective for this year. And in terms of like, actually, I asked that question to her if she feels any pressure about, like equally having like an equal placement for this year, or actually advancing further in the competition. I think she's not really bothered about that thing at all. She just really wants to compete. She just really wants to use the platform. And I think what's really good about this entire thing is I think we have again opened a lot of doors for like other candidates from the past who are still interested to actually compete again, who still have the heart for the organization, for the cause of Miss Earth, to actually give it a second try if they want to in the coming years. So to Nampech, congratulations for being again, once again, Miss Earth Thailand 2020. And we can't wait what's going to unfold in your journey. And I think the fans right now are getting the hang of it. I think the
Mm-hmm,
comments
mm-hmm.
and reactions are getting more and more like positive on for the end of Nampech. So that's actually a really good thing. Yes, that's a really good thing for her. And I think she has really proven her worth as a formidable candidate for this year. So good luck to Nampech and to all of the candidates for Mr. 2020.
All right. I'd probably hear. Thank you so much, Noy. I'd like to hear the thoughts of one of our queens. Probably ask this question to Angel. Because a while ago, Nona mentioned when Numpech was announced as a delegate, just real talk, there were a lot of people who were not happy, okay, about it. And we saw it online, okay? Where do you think are they coming from? What's with their negative reaction? Instead of just being accepting about it, because she's really using the platform. Where do you think are these people coming from, Angel? Why the negative reaction? I guess that's what I want to know from you, your thoughts.
Part of it is people try to make a certain system emulate other systems. I know, especially with Miss Earth, a lot of people are like, you would never see this from Miss World or Miss Universe. But I think what fans really need to recognize is Miss Earth is our own system. The reason why we enjoy Earth is because it's very environmental, it's very unique, and we do things that other systems are, in my personal opinion, are kind of afraid to do. Having that intelligence interview is a huge thing for Miss Earth. So I think having the opportunity for Nampech, who is a very intelligent and active queen, to compete again is just more evidence of Miss Earth's uniqueness as a system. And a lot of people are concerned it's going to prevent girls from wanting to join. But I think what Nampech is showing is that this system is so amazing and so worthwhile to her that, in my opinion, as a competitor and as a queen, it would inspire me to join even more, because if I see a girl is dedicated and really loves her system, then I know that's a system I would be happy to be a part of.
Thank you so much, Angel. You know what, a takeaway with what you said is we as observers, as fans, we have to not compare oranges from apples. Miss Earth is a unique system of its own, so we have different rules, different platforms as well, so we have to just be open to this. Okay, so never ever compare Miss Earth to other pageants. Yes, and
I will note for the fans, Miss Universe also technically doesn't have a rule in their contract saying you cannot compete twice. So just because it hasn't happened doesn't mean we'll never see it.
Agree. Wow. Take note of that, fans. Take note. All right. Lastly, Gianna, I'd like to hear your thoughts. Since we have a second appointment, it's the same delegate. What are your thoughts about Nampech's second try? Can you hear us, Gianna? Yes, I think you're on mute.
She's saying there's a problem with her Wi-Fi.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So it's okay. We'll get back to Gianna. Don't worry. Okay, we'll wait for you. So those are just some of the thoughts about the
actually, Mark, I have another follow-up on that. Yeah, actually, if there's also one positive thing that this reappointment of Nampech contributed is that I think the candidates for this year will have to step up their game, because Nampech is indeed a formidable candidate. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, just the template of what Nampech did last year. I mean, just imagine, right? Just imagine what she's going to do for this year. So I think the competition became fiercer and actually tougher for this year with the addition of Nampech again for the 2020 edition. I don't know if you guys are going to agree with that.
Wow.
All right. Fearless. Wow, that's a bold statement from you. Okay.
Yeah. And then after that, drinking from his Manila mug. Yes.
Yes. You're drinking from your Manila mug. I'm just drinking from my regular.
I just made a bold statement.
Green tumbler. All right. So Gianna is back.
Oh, we all have drinks.
Gianna is back. Maybe we can hear your thoughts, Gianna, before we move on to another topic.
Yeah, oh my goodness. I also have so many thoughts on this because I actually saw Noy's interview with Nampech, and I applaud her for seeming so unbothered. And not just that, we also have to acknowledge to be willing to join a competition again, even though the first time around you didn't win. That takes so much courage from beauty pageant candidate's perspective. Atashani Tormes can agree with this. She joined numerous times for how many years, and that takes so much courage to just keep joining. So I completely applaud her for that. And also, I remember during my Miss Philippines Earth journey, I actually messaged Nampech and I asked her to do a live with me. And her instant response was, anything I can do to talk about my advocacy. She is so advocacy driven. She is so focused on that. So some of the girls, some of the elemental court and I spoke about it, about our opinions about, Nampech joining for a second time. And you really have nothing to do but applaud her because of her courage, because of her willingness, her taking the position. For the naysayers, ask them what would be a better option to have a pageant when the international is nearing, to appoint someone else who better knows Miss Earth, but someone who has joined already. I actually think it's a very, very good strategy of Miss Earth Thailand, just because Nampech is also so familiar already with the whole system of Miss Earth.
Agree with you. Wow, very interesting thoughts. Yes,
I need to
Angel.
stop talking about Nampech, but I did love Nampech last year. And something that Gianna said that I guess in my opinion, I totally agree with, and it kind of reminded me of my personal favorite Miss Earth Canada Bosco, is Nampech just is very set and very determined. She is completely blocking out anyone who's giving her any negativity. In her Miss Earth Crown interview with the rest of the former Panay Miss Earth Queens, she said, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I got to have my year. I got to do what I needed to do. And I'm feeling that same energy coming from Nampech, and I'm so excited about it. I think it's amazing.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on that hot button topic. So let's now move on. If you've noticed, when the competition started in Miss Earth, there were a lot of photos and profiles that were already uploaded, and it's already up and running. Hey, we saw their pictures. We saw their swims. We saw the girls in swimsuit. We also saw them in their evening gowns. What are your general thoughts? And also, I think there were already echo videos, echo videos, and even intro videos that were uploaded. And exciting would be, I personally loved. Before I ask for your thoughts, I personally loved their pictures when they were wearing their angel wings. My God, these girls are not just advocacy driven. These girls are also very gorgeous. They're all equally gorgeous. So that's my general thoughts. But I'd like to hear the thoughts first of our guests. Maybe I'd like to hear the thoughts of Gianna. What do you think about the swimsuit gown and even Echo Angel photos that already are up and running?
Being under Carousel Productions for Miss Philippines Earth, I can tell that this time around, that team, Carousel Productions, the secretary, Ma'am Lorraine, has the entire virtual pageant system down to the T this time. As you can see, it seems like all of the girls pretty much had a uniform, or I guess, they had a set of rules on what the girls should wear. Everybody is wearing a solid colored swimsuit. It should be a white background. It's all so clean, so it really looks like a very professionally done pageant. It really looks like the Miss Earth that we know, despite all of the naysayers that are, bashing the fact that Miss Earth is a virtual pageant. So first of all, I love that. I love how Carousel Productions has the system down to a T. As for the girls, I don't know how to say this in English, but sobrang palaban nila. They're so competitive. I follow a lot of them, and I know Miss Earth Crown also posts so many of their pictorial photos. Their styling is on point to, their overall look. Even their eco activities, they're just well done photos. And you can see that they have amazing facts. They're very well researched in terms of the captions. So this is why it's so hard to determine even a top 5, because everybody is very, very competitive.
Agree. It seems as if everyone, all of the girls are complete packages. So that's why I could say it's already giving me a headache. I don't know who would be my top 20 would be. I don't know. Honestly, it's very difficult. If I become a judge, once again, it will be challenging for me. All right. So I'd like to hear our in-house fashion expert. And I'm talking about what are your because you're into fashion. You're
my
the
God,
expert.
I'm so pressured. So
No
I'm
pressure,
so
yes.
pressured
I'm not
right now.
pressuring you at all. Okay, so but what are your thoughts about the pictures that were uploaded? Swimsuit, evening gowns, or Echo Angel pictures as well?
No, actually, I think I'd like to also like throw this insight to both Angel and Gianna, because I think it's mighty difficult to pull off like photo shoots during this time of the pandemic. That's for sure, right, Gianna and Angel? Like, especially with the restrictions. So number one, I don't know how they were able to pull off these amazing conceptual photo shoots, most especially the Eco Angel wings. Personally, I so far the ones that I have seen, I loved Miss USA's Eco Angel wing, Eco Angel photo, as well as Miss Indonesia. I think this one right here. In Tagalog, pak na pak ang mga pakpak ng mga Eco Angel wings.
Translate pak na pak. What does pak na pak mean?
Yes! Pak na pak ang mga pakpak ng mga Eco Angels natin for this year. And I
In
can't
English,
wait because in
In English,
it's
they're
on
winging the
point.
wings.
The wings are on point.
on
They're
point,
winging the wings.
Yes.
The
And it's
wings are
on point.
popping. Right.
Yes, and I think
On
all of
point.
the fans right now, are so excited to see all of the official Eco Angel photos. I think we are going to see. I'm not too sure. Singapore is going to release her Eco Angel photo really soon. So just a mere fact that we are seeing a lot of these photos online. And again, kudos by the way to the social media team of Miss Earth for this year. They've
Right.
been really, really hardworking compared to
Super.
the previous year. So let's
Agree.
give credit to when credit is due. I think both the digital and social media team of Miss Earth this year, they've been really stepping up their game by updating the website, putting the
Agree.
photos, and of course, putting all of the content on their social media, which makes it the Earthlings and the fans more excited about what's going to happen every day. So for the fashion, I'm not too sure how I'm going to react to that. I have to see everyone first. But one candidate I'm really excited to see in the photos and on the other like content online is Miss Myanmar, because I know that she has a lot of really good outfits. So watch out for Miss Myanmar.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to hear Angel. Okay, are there any? Let's just base it on pictures. Okay, their swimsuit and their evening gowns and Echo Angel wings. Who are the girls that stood out for you?
So I'm actually going to start with the Eco Angel wings real quick, because I think there's been kind of two styles we're seeing, having the handmade wings and the handmade outfits with a natural background, like you saw Indonesia do. And then you have some that are doing more digitally edited versions. And I think both are good for different reasons. So I think Costa Rica had those cool flame wings. And I don't know if that's her official photo or not, but it's such an intense picture and she looks absolutely incredible in it. But then you also have women like Miss Earth USA who had the all natural wings, and it's just a photo of her. And I also thought that really stood out because then she had I believe it's either a backdrop or a digital background, but either way, it just really pops against it, which I thought was a very cool choice to make. So the Eco Angel photos are absolutely amazing. I have never seen anything like any of these girls are doing, and it's kind of exciting.
It is.
As for ground, it's hard for me to choose standouts just because everybody is so gorgeous. I do like that you paired those, not paired, but grouped those 4 blue gowns together. That's pretty cool. And I am really interested in seeing how swimsuit is going to be judged this year, just because everybody has such a different look to them, which is pretty typical, but in a digital pageant, that is so hard to pull off because it's hard to figure out how you're going to be judging everything. So I'm excited to see how this turns out. And honestly, I have no idea who, I totally agree. I have no idea who's in the top 20, who's in the top 4, which is a weird feeling for me, who usually has my hot picks chosen before all the girls are even crowned. So
I agree with you. I totally agree with you, Angel. I think it's also very too early to tell who would make it in the top 20 or who would be your we still have our own favorites, but sometimes the favorites will slip out of our list, and sometimes they would return because there will be girls who would really be standing out based on their pictures and their profiles. So yeah, so it's not yet over until the fat lady sings, so as they say. So we are done with a pageant recap. So I hope you enjoyed that. Maybe we'd like to hear your thoughts first. I'd like to turn you over to Emma to check what the fans are talking about. What are they saying about the recap? Any standouts? Any highlight in the past few weeks that they were excited about? What say you?
Yes, there you go. So you know what? We were just we're just done with one segment, but while we were talking about the topics we had for this segment, there were so many the comments that came in already. In fact, our first comment came from YouTube because we are live both on Facebook
Wow.
and
Hello,
YouTube right now. But
YouTube.
it is actually a comment from Ralph, a question from Ralph Sambat. He says, "Good morning and good evening. How would you fight against deforestation and protect the environment?" Wow. So this is a roundup, but
Well,
he is
round out
asking
with
a
a question.
question already. Yeah, so we're throwing back our guests into their pageant Q&A days with this
Pageant
one.
mode.
But since this
We're
is
not
a
prepared.
roundup, all of us, both you, Noy, you and Mark also have to answer this so that it's fair game. In fact, I'm
Yes.
going to start with you
Why?
guys. Okay,
Okay.
so no, right? So we let's give Gianna and Angel a break. Let's answer this. If you are also true Earthlings, you're gonna hate me for this after. Okay, so you should be able to answer this as well. I'll start with you, Noy. So,
Oh
how
my
would you
God.
fight against deforestation and protect the environment?
Protect the environment. Oh my God. Thank you for that wonderful question, Ram. No, this is on the spot. But I think on my end being a teacher, I think education is going to go a long way. And just educating the young kids about like the importance of planting trees and doing proper waste management, especially online during the online classes. I think it's going to go a long way. So for Ralph, if you agree that education is a really good tool to like protect the environment, comment below.
It's
Back to you.
this is that was such a smart way of putting it. You know what? Rav is going to have a hard time because he was the first comment, and now we're on like the 80th or 90th comment already. So let's see if he's still around. So, but I think that answer is already enough. So, Noy, thank you very much for
Yeah.
answering that. And we believe that education is
Yes.
the key. A lot of people are saying hi, like Nelly
Hi,
is saying
Nelly.
hi.
Hi,
We've
Nelly
seen Nelly
Nelly.
several times in our broadcast already. So hi, hello, and an emoji wave from Kentra Vince Cabio. There you go. And of course, our very avid supporter is with here right now, Shane Morales
Hi,
Garcia. Hi,
Shane.
Shane.
Hello.
Uh, hello, Shane. Thank
What's
you.
up?
Let me put all of us on equal sizes.
Mabuhay!
Okay, there you go.
Hello.
And thank you. Hi, mabuhay ka din, Shane. Mabuhay. And of course, Jay Gibe saying the most
Oh,
credible Miss Earth media coverage. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you,
And
Jay.
thanks so
he's supporting,
much.
yes, Jay is supporting Nigeria from the Philippines. Yes, Jay is not only an avid supporter of Miss Earth Crown, but also an avid supporter of Miss Nigeria. And Ralph, who asked that question, is saying hi to Angel as well. So Ralph saying hi to you,
Ralph, you will
Angel.
have to answer back. I asked you a
Yeah.
question.
Zani is saying good evening to the Miss Earth team. And of course, Gabrielle Bernal. Hi, Gabrielle is saying hi to
Hi,
us.
Gab.
Okay, there you go. And yeah, Shane is actually saying 79 is a good number of a candidate. Okay, there you go. And Carla May Witt is saying hello to our two hashtag Earth Angels. Those Definitely not Mark and Noy. She's talking about Gianna
I have a
and
nickname.
and Angel, definitely. So thank you to our Miss Earth Crown team as well for this live stream tonight. It is always our honor and our pleasure. Okay, Mix Pelaez, who is also a very supportive Earthling, is asking, do you think this is maybe our hunch, right? Do you think the delegates this year will reach up to 85 or 90? How many do we have right now? 79, right?
29.
79
Who?
expected on the
Yes,
website.
crossing our fingers, right? Who knows?
You can
As
get there.
Angel said, right? As Angel said a while ago, Miss Earth has a lot of unique surprises, and who knows? Even maybe even the number of candidates will be part of the surprise. And
Yes.
our lovely BB girl, Michelle Ann Constantino of
BB.
Pageant Hub, is
Hi, BB
watching right
girl.
now. BB girl. Okay, my favorite coverage team for Miss Earth 2020. Thank you so much for all those words. And another, our live streams would not be complete without
Hi,
these people.
Kathy.
And one of them is Kathy Ponzuelo. Hi, hello, Sir Noy. I'm
Hi,
very excited for
Kathy.
Syria this year. There you go. And Kevin is watching us right now. I don't know how he managed to put a blank comment, but he did. So we're going.
Still,
He did.
It's
Hello, Kevin.
open to
That is
interpretation.
Yes,
It could
so
be
open to
anything.
interpretation, or maybe this is like invisible ink or something.
Yes.
Thank you
Yes.
I
so
think
much,
I think
though,
what he's
Kevin.
saying is good evening to the good-looking hosts and
Yes.
queens for tonight.
Okay,
I'm
That's
but
saying
it.
it. I'm reading it.
you know
Good-looking
what?
hosts
It
and gorgeous
doesn't
queens. Yes.
matter whatever Kevin says because he is actually one. His business is one of our sponsors for
Oh,
tonight. Okay,
yes.
sponsors. What do we mean by that, fans? Earthlings, you will find out later. Okay, so please, stick around. And speaking of sticking around, one person who's sticking around with us is a queen. Our queen from Singapore, our lovely
Hi,
Christina Chai
Christina.
from Singapore is watching
Hi,
us
ex
right
Tina.
now. And of course, our very, very supportive Starla, Madam Starla Abalayan says, makakalikasan na gabi sa inyong lahat. There you
Yay.
go. Par, saying Bignayan. There you go. Yes, Starla was also See, I'm so sorry. We have so many comments, so I'm just gonna go through a
Yeah.
lot of these right now. So Starla saying, I have seen Lindsay Coffee's angel pick. I was stunned by her beauty and also Miss Russia. So those are some of the um, uh, comments that our fans are giving. Those are their picks. Okay, let me look at some other unique comments. Another Speaking of Queen, another Queen is watching us right now. Miss Earth US Virgin Islands Isabella Brie Bennett is watching right now.
Bella.
Hello everyone, I'm so excited
Hello.
for this new series. Much love to Miss Earth Crown. Much love to you too, Isabella. And this is so nice from YouTube. The Maharlikans are watching and saying hello,
Oh,
Gianna.
wow.
La-
Hello.
Hi,
yes,
guys.
love lots from KSA. Christina saying, so funny. I love you guys. Yeah, we're trying to keep it fun and light. Oh, Noy! Noy, look at this one. Ralph actually replied to your answer.
Oh my god.
Ralph,
Wow.
thank you for
Or,
See,
what?
I'm
this is
I'm glad
this.
that this
ready
follow-up
to be
answer made Gianna so happy. I
noise
agree that
to Earth. Confirmed.
edu-
This is
right
what you
confirmed.
call real interaction.
That's
Yes, that's what
right.
we want.
Yes.
So,
Virtual.
guys, please stay tuned. Interact with us.
Amazing. Amazing. 50 comments apart, but we still get to
See?
communicate, right?
Mm.
Amazing. Thank you
Never too
so
late to reply back.
right. Thank you so much, Ralph. And our last comment before we go to the next segment. Imagine we still have a next segment, but we're already like, okay, here you go. Von Rich says hi, ME Crown. Okay. Coronation to look like a real life pageant. Like Miss Cagayan de Oro
Yeah.
virtual pageant as a reference. You know what, Von Rich will probably be surprised. Okay, so there you go. There you go. So yes, I'm sure they are taking notes because Miss Earth actually listens. Wilson. Hello, everyone. Miss Earth is more important pageant of all, like the other pageant in our neighborhood country. I don't know what we're talking about here, Wilson, but yes, we do know that Miss Earth is very important. Yes, there you go. So thank you so much to all the people who have been commenting so far. We are going to be we are excited to be reading your next comments, and we need your participation later. Watch out for that. But for now, we are going to the next segment, right, Mark?
Yes, you are correct, Eman. So speaking of, because you mentioned about sponsors a while ago, you also mentioned about we would like to encourage your participation. Earthlings, I'll be challenging you. I'd like you to stay tuned because before we end the activity or the day, we will have a game for you. Yes, I'm spinning it now. We will have a game and there will be prizes. Okay? You will have a chance to win something. Yes. We have
Yeah.
sponsors. Imagine we have sponsors,
Love it.
right?
Because you
Legit.
So
see
you
it
will win
first.
something if you stay tuned. Later, you'll
I
find out what the game
agree.
would be and what the mechanics would be. But before we move on to that game, let's move on to another segment. We are done with our hashtag recap. Let me now turn you over to Eman for our hashtag Earth Talk takeaways. So you may take over, Eman.
Oh, there you go. Oh, that's me. Oh, yes, there you go. So I am in charge of discussing. Our next segment is Earth Talk Takeaway. So this is going to be a quick takeaway of all of us here, especially our dear guest, on the topics of Miss Earth Talk. They for the past 2 weeks, a lot of our eco angels have already discussed several topics. That have something to do with the earth and the pandemic and a lot of other important matters. But tonight, let's have our own take on those topics. And we also invite you, our dear Earthlings, to give us your own takeaways from these topics. And let's begin with the first one. The first topic that was talked about was the state of health amidst the pandemic. So this was talked about by delegates from different continents, from different groups. So mostly, this Earth Talk was talking about how the pandemic affected the state of health in their own countries, which gave us an overview on the state of health of the entire world during the pandemic. So now, my question is, how do you think has the pandemic impacted the state of health, generally the state of health throughout the world? And if you have a certain experience or some a specific situation that you can relate to with regard to this situation, you may also talk about it. Let's begin with our co-host right here, Noy. So, what can you say about this topic? What is your takeaway on the state of health during the time of the pandemic?
Well, primarily, I don't have like a specific comment on like what the candidates shared, but then I'm really
Definitely.
happy that the Miss Earth organization pushed through with the Earth Talks because this was a really great way of having an update from each of the countries. I think because the story of the pandemic, although we are here, we are experiencing the same thing. I think the story varies from country to country, right? I mean, just the challenges and the difficulties that each country is experiencing. There are a lot of lessons to learn from each other. Actually, I was watching one specific episode with I think it was Asia, like with Brittany, Roxy, and
Mm-hmm.
Christina. I think they
Mm-hmm.
were able to share like their own like best practices in their countries, and I think that was like a really great session because it was more like of a conversation, like a sharing of best practices. And I think for the Earth Talk series, that was a really great way for the candidates to really share what's happening in their own country and in their own little way share their own experiences with the other delegates. Like it's actually becoming like a community of learners, so to say, about what needs to be done to combat this pandemic we're experiencing right now. So really great job for the candidates for like sharing their own insights. And it was also like a great way. It's also like an eye-opening experience for like the viewers because what we only know about the pandemic is what's happening in our own countries, right? It was really great to know and learn from the different delegates, most especially, for example, from the delegates from Africa, or for example from Europe. Of course, we're coming from Asia right now. Like how similar our challenges are, our difficulties are, but at the same time also really different. So I was really happy to see all of the delegates come together in one session, and I can't wait for the succeeding ones. I think we still have like around one more week of Earth Talks, right? I'm not too sure
Hmm.
how many more.
Yes, yes. I think we still have 1 or 2 more weeks of Earth Talk, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken. There you go. Thank you very much on that. Yes, I agree that the Earth Talk has not only been has not been just a venue for our eco angels to put themselves out there and for people to notice that they are also good speakers, but it has also been a
yeah,
learning community for
yes,
everybody. If even for non-fans, I think of Miss Earth, if they watch Earth Talk, they will enjoy and they will learn. Because it's like having an online course on
correct.
global health and on other topics. Don't you agree? Right? So the now, I would like to ask Angel about this also, about your takeaway on this one, because I know that you have sort of a background on this. So I would like to ask for your takeaway on the health situation all over the world during this pandemic.
So, and when you talk about it being like an online course, I've actually made this part of my midterm. I've been using the Earth Talks as part of my midterm for my international relations course. So, basically, what I've noticed is a lot of these girls, they're all coming from a different situation in different countries with different governmental forms. And one of the things I've really noticed is the state of health seems to be really precedent on whether your country is more unified or federalist in practice. So places like the USA and the Philippines, where it's a little bit harder to get things off the floor because you're more federalist, your areas each have their own systematic governments, has made it a little bit tricky. As for the United States, not having a single point of contact has done horrible damage to our country, as well as our president now has COVID-19. So I
Hmm.
think what has really shown about all of these girls is they are very well versed in what's happening, as well as kind of figuring out, okay, so how do I take the steps forward to fix this problem? One of the things that I really enjoyed about the Asian and Oceanic Earth Talk, so that would have been Australia, Philippines, and Singapore, was that they weren't just discussing, okay, the doom and gloom and misery of the pandemic, but also trying to look forward and be like, okay, here's what we need to do for all of our health. I'm going to be a point of reference. And that was something I really appreciated from them. And I thought was a very unique and good way to take that.
Hmm.
The other thing I really appreciated is in the Americas, a lot of the girls focused on trying to get people's spirits up rather than trying to focus on all of the hardships. You saw Costa Rica was super bubbly. Isabella, U.S. Virgin Islands, had been talking about how 2020 was actually one of her favorite years so far because she's gotten to be a part of Miss Earth. And Lindsay even mentioned, Miss USA even mentioned going through and doing more proactive things for her own mental health. So I thought that was a very good thing that Americas did because our health is not just our physical well-being, it is also our mental and emotional well-being. So I really enjoyed that.
There you go. Thank you so much for your takeaway on this one. Yes, there you go. So we still have several topics on the Earth Talks that have happened during the past 2 weeks. And one of them is also economic challenges during the time of the pandemic. And a lot of our delegates, especially from Asia, of course, and from the different regions, talked about that too. So I would like to know your takeaway on the economic challenges that we have faced during this pandemic. If you have watched the Earth Talks, what have you learned from our ladies? Just like what Angel and Noy have learned from the ladies talking about health in their own countries during the Earth Talks. How about you? Let's begin with Mark. What is your takeaway on the topic of economic challenges during the time of pandemic within the Earth Talk of our Miss Earth delegates?
I think what I've learned from watching the videos or the what we call webinars, it's like a learning module for us, would be we are under the same storm, but in different boats. What am I talking about? On an economic standpoint, there, especially for the fully developed countries, they have systems in place to support sectors that have been fully affected by the pandemic because a majority of the countries that were affected by it, the businesses had to stop. People lost their jobs. There are certain sectors that they needed to take care of. The youth needs to be needs of the youth, the needs of the senior citizens had to be addressed. While in the not so developed countries, they were also trying their best with the limited resources that they have. So I think again we are in the same storm, experiencing the pandemic, but are different ways of addressing the needs that have arisen because of the situation. Okay, so but one thing is for sure, everyone's economy got affected. Just an example, here in the Philippines, we have just experienced one of the lowest of low in our economies. There was a contraction in our economy, and the government has its highs and lows as well. They were able to support some of the needs of certain sectors, but there are also certain sectors that were not focused on. So I think another learning that I had personally would be as an individual, what can I do to help? I think that's it's a pivotal point for me. So because I could say could really say on a privileged standpoint, I did not lose my job during the pandemic. I still had a roof under my on top of my head. I still had food. Okay, so I have resources. So what can I do to help at least jumpstart the economy? So for me, what I do is I have friends who have businesses, and because of the pandemic, they had to stop their businesses and they continue it online. What I do is I really patronize the local businesses, like what some of the girls did. They're also supporting in their own way. Some of them had donation drives. Some of them had the opportunity to partner with organizations to help the ones who were in need who got affected because of the downturn in economy. So that's my one of my learnings. Okay, in the series.
That is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that, Mark. Yes. So the economic challenges impact us in different ways as well. So I would also like to ask Gianna about your takeaway on this, especially with you being a journalist who is exposed to different things that happen in our country and probably sources of news around the world as well. So what is your takeaway on the economic impact of the pandemic?
Well, thank you for that question, Sir Eman. Parang pageant rin na.
Parang pageant.
No, I was actually the co-moderator for, I think it was the Americas when this was the topic. And as a journalist, of course, I've been reading how so many Filipinos are struggling with unemployment nowadays. Just as a fun fact, unemployment, not a fun fact, it's not good, but unemployment in the Philippines rose from 5.1% to 6.2. So that's 3 million more Filipinos who don't have a job. And being a co-moderator for that talk specifically, I believe it was Puerto Rico, Peru, Venezuela, and Guyana. I realized that yes, every single country in the world is going through economic troubles, but only here in the Philippines do we really have a struggle with unemployment specifically. And that's because these girls talked about how both their governments and their citizens invested more in, as Sir Markey said, local businesses. So I think that stood out to me the most, being, yes, a journalist, but also a Miss Philippines Earth Queen. So as much as possible, use whatever platform I can, whatever means I can to support local businesses, to support my fellow Filipinos who are trying to start their own means of income with this unemployment. I think it was really interesting to co-moderate that talk specifically because you see how different governments approach the COVID-19 situation economically, and how they prioritize it.
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you for that very unique perspective as well, especially coming from you who was able to moderate one of the sessions with this topic. There you go. So, and I forgot to change the banner for this. Thank you so much for that one, Gianna. So, aside from the economic challenges, another topic that was discussed during the Earth Talks was the educational challenges, and this strikes this strikes a chord to me, and I'm sure to a lot of us here, because many of us here in Miss Earth Crown are teachers. So they were discussing about their own, of course, their own country's personal struggles, and of also best practices on their government addressing the situation. But I will go back to you, Noy. So, what is your, as a teacher,
Okay.
what is your takeaway on the impact of the situation on the educational practices and the educational situation in our country and in other parts of the world?
Well, I want to like highlight one specific delegate I heard talk about this. I think it was Slovenia, Adriana, and I was actually surprised to learn that in Slovenia they also experience the same struggles that we have here in the Philippines, like just the difficulty of having good connectivity of internet. Because I think they're also going online as well. And also they also have like a difficulty in like providing their students with like the tools like laptops and mobile gadgets, so that the kids can still continue learning at home. So I was actually surprised to learn that it is also happening in countries like Slovenia. Also, so that session about like sharing about educational problems or challenges in the time of the pandemic really is really it's really special to me because of the fact that I'm a teacher, and I know that it's really difficult for a student to have like a learning gap. For example, there are a lot of like students this school year, who are not going to be able to enroll and continue their studies because of, again, the challenges of like having no internet connection or like having no tools for the online learning. So I am really I'm really happy to see that all of these ladies were able to like share their own experiences and own struggles in their own country. And I'm also actually quite kind of relieved that it's not only the Philippines who is like experiencing the same struggles. I mean, we have countries like Slovenia, like in Europe, who are also experiencing the same thing. So in terms of like the educational gap or educational challenges of the brought about by the pandemic, it's really a matter of like a matter of government will or political will of making sure that the government does whatever it takes to really continue the education of the students, even if it's like even if it's like in the time of the pandemic. So I do hope that they still continue these kinds of discussions in terms of education. So I'm really happy to see the ladies like talk about the best practices, like learning from each other. So that is something that I learned from the Earth Talks in terms of education during the pandemic.
There you go. Thank you so much. And I have and speaking of, right, during the pandemic, another topic that was talked about during the Earth Talk, of course, was the state of tourism, which is also very important, since Miss Earth is not only promoting environmental protection, but it indirectly and probably now directly promotes the tourism of different countries, the tourism in different countries as well. And we know that one of the industries that was hit very hard by the
Mhm.
pandemic was the tourism industry, and a lot
Yeah.
have lost their jobs, and a lot of tourism practices have been stalled or stopped. So many flights were canceled. So it was really take a hard pill to swallow for the tourism industry. So now let's go to that topic. Let's talk about your takeaways on the state of tourism during the pandemic. Okay. And let's begin, I believe, with Mark. Okay. So, Mark, what is your takeaway on this? I know that you love to travel. And as a person who does not do traveling as a job, what is your takeaway on this?
I think because of the pandemic, people who loves to experience different cultures, okay, will find it really difficult to transition from how do I experience the world versus how do I how do I experience the world from outside to how do I experience the world now that I have constraints. So as a person who loves to travel, I think it's something that I really needed to adjust to, and that's also something that's evident to the different economies, okay, that got affected, who especially for the economies who are relying more on tourism. There were economies who really did not have a choice, especially if they weren't able to control the virus yet. They still had to close their borders. But there were economies or countries that had to open up because they were successful in controlling the virus. So I think it really is dependent on the country and the regulations, okay, and how the countries are able to open up their economies to continue and sustain tourism. So that's one of my takeaways after watching the videos.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mark. And now I would like to throw this question to Gianna. Since your work also brings you to a lot of places and effectively allows you to travel, what is your takeaway on the struggles of the tourism industry because of the pandemic?
I'm going to be very honest. One of my jobs of covering music festivals
Mm-hmm.
around the world had to close down, and I lost it in the past couple of months because of this pandemic. You know, this was a job that I thought I would have forever. I had plans to go to Europe this year, and it just didn't happen. So I was shaken by the realities that, you know, for me, not only will I be able to explore the rest of the world for a while, but it also affected my income. I co-moderated the talk with Miss Ghana and Miss Cameroon today as well. This was the topic.
Mm-hmm.
And Miss Ghana said that the tourism in their country is actually open. Everything's almost back to normal, and most places where tourists would usually go are accepting visitors. And she stated a point that really opened my eyes as well, and that we should take advantage of the COVID-19 pandemic in affecting our tourism, and that when we do have the liberty to explore, we explore within our own country. We explore within the tourist spots for us here in the Philippines. Because us Filipinos, we instantly like to go to other countries without taking advantage of the beauty within our own country. And in this way, we're investing in our country's economy while also investing in the protection of our own environment too. So I thought that was a huge eye opener, and I hope that's a message we can get across to the people within our country as time progresses, and that when we all have the liberty to go out, we appreciate our environment first.
Yes, thank you very
Yes,
much
agree
for
with
that.
you. I'm
I
sorry, is it
agree with
okay if I
you.
add on to that? And I agree
All
with what
right.
Gianna said. Um, before I felt like I was a what do you call a an alien in my own country. I really love going out of the country, but I rarely enjoy the beautiful spots in the Philippines. Now, one of my realizations really after this pandemic is over, and once eventually the Philippines opens up, I'll probably visit a lot more parts of the Philippines. So that's a realization for me after watching the videos as well. So I agree with Gianna.
Thank you so much for that, Mark. Yes. Also, I would like to add to that. I agree with you, Gianna, and I agree with Miss Ghana about her about what she shared, that it should be within our own countries first. After the pandemic is over, we have to take advantage of that. I live in Japan, and here in Japan, things are also almost back to normal. And I believe that the way we rise from this pandemic economically and also within our tourism industry is how the government promotes local tourism. Because here in Japan, the government has a go-to travel campaign, which automatically gives everyone a 35% discount on accommodations, on plane tickets, on travel expenses. And aside from that, you are given a coupon, a set of coupons that allows you up to 15% discount on all pasalubongs, on all
Wow.
souvenirs and everything. So it really depends on the government how they promotes the it's you have to be gutsy, you have to be really forward, and you have to act immediately in order to save your economy through tourism. And that is that's something that a lot of countries should also benchmark on, like prioritizing local tourism. But before we go to our next segment, I'd like to ask Angel one last time for this time. So um being in the US, which is also affected a lot by the COVID-19 pandemic, what is your takeaway on this, especially for a young queen like you who also loves traveling? So, what is your takeaway on this matter?
So I think one of the big things is, I mean, there are quite a few countries that are opening up. We've heard from a lot of our queens that their countries are starting to open up
Right.
for tourism. However, U.S. is banned from being tourists in most of these countries. For example, Ghana does still have restrictions on U.S. citizens entering the country. So, and it just kind of comes down to we have a very high infection rate. So it's dangerous to have US citizens coming to other countries right now. And I guess as someone who loves to travel, my godsister lives in Nicaragua, so I haven't even been able to send her things really.
Oh.
And one of the takeaways from the Earth Talks for me was having a government that has a plan is much more valuable than anything else right now. For example, you were talking about Japan. You guys have a plan, you know what you're doing, and even if something goes wrong, since there's a plan in place, you know how to adjust and correct course. When you don't have a plan, you don't really know which way you're pointing. If you think about a compass, you don't know which way is north. So what we're really seeing is all of these women are talking about how their countries are solving this tourism issue independently, but also starting to look inwards and see how they can get their citizens to help tourism. Right. And I think that's a very good way to be thinking about it, especially for a country like the US who still can't really travel anywhere. There are US states that it's hard to get into and out of right now. So I definitely think that looking inwards, I know for myself, I've been looking to go to Tepperley Forest for a really long time. I've done it twice now. I've been traveling in-state a lot more. I've gone to the Arbor Day Farm countless times now. And every time is absolutely amazing. So, and I didn't even realize we had Tepperley Forest, which is one of the largest man-made forests in the world in my home state, which is really weird to think about because we don't have a lot here.
Yeah, that is amazing. Thank you so much for that. And also, we also wish and hope that those who have lost their livelihood in this time of pandemic can get them back in the future. So Gianna, for sure, once this is all over, you will be able to travel and be an amazing journalist covering all these wonderful music festivals all around the world. So thank you very much for that. And thank you. And now, before we go to our next segment, let's look at some of the comments from our fans as well. Okay, so Ralph now hopes to meet you in person once he visits.
Are you serious,
the Philippines.
Ralph?
Yeah. Ralph, the last time Ralph visited the Philippines was in 1997. Amazing! Wow, imagine that.
Ralph, I will be your tour guide here in the Philippines once you visit. I promise.
We will be, yes,
with
there you
Gianna.
go. A lot of hearts from Gabrielle Bernal. Thank you so much. Another queen watching us right now is Miss Earth Gayan. Yes, Cynthiana Harry.
Cynthiana,
Yes,
hi.
there you go.
Hi.
Watching us right now. And of course, Starla Abalayan. I want a sash and a crown as my prize if I win. Well, not tonight, Starla, but we have something better than that. But we'll work on that. Christina Chai is also excited for the prizes. There you go. Oh, there's one inquiry from John Marzan. Any scoops on which countries are still applying competing requirements for the Miss Earth franchise? We have a clue, but we don't know if we can say it. I don't know. We have a clue. So
no, yet.
we don't know actually. We don't know yet. But check out the photos on the the Miss Earth website. You will know. There you go. Shane Morales is saying this pandemic affected not just the physical health, but the inner being of everyone. That is true. Mental health was also affected by this pandemic. The good side is that it positively impacted our relationship with our loved ones as we are able to spend more time with our family.
Well said.
Thank you. Well said. Thank you so much for that takeaway. And I should have every one of us in the same size. There you go. So thank you very much for that, Shane. That is true. We got closer to nature. We got closer to our local towns. We got closer to our family. And that is so amazing. Well, Queen Michelle Gomez is also watching
Oh,
right now.
Michelle.
And she's
Hi,
saying,
Hi,
Hi
Michelle.
again,
Michelle.
Michelle.
hello. Michelle was with Gianna just a few hours ago for the Earth Talk. Thank you so much, Queen, for watching. And she says, I love to hear Angel so much. There you go. Yes. And yes, Gabriel, we agree. Many people still believe that COVID-19 is a hoax. The Earth Talk, especially State of Health amidst pandemic episode, is really an eye opener that it's really happening and we need to take precautions and follow health protocols. You are
Agree.
right, Gabriel. Think, my God, the our Earthlings weighing in on the takeaways is also so beautiful. So thank you so much,
Yeah.
our dear Earthlings, for joining in the conversation. And speaking of thanking, yes, Ben CM is also in love with the Earth Talk segment. So he thinks this should be a regular segment of the pageant. We can hear much more about these girls. We can learn so much more from them, and we can
I
appreciate
agree.
them more. Yeah, we
Agree.
agree, right?
Agree.
Right? I think everybody agrees this should be a
Yes.
regular segment, whether online or in person in the coming years. And the last comment before we go to the next segment, it was a pleasure hanging out with you all. May you all have a wonderful and blessed.
We
You're
made a
leaving
new friend
already,
Bye.
Ralph?
online.
Thank you,
Virtual
Ralph.
friend.
Yes,
Ralph,
Ralph. Please
thank
Hi,
hang
Ralph.
out
you.
with us again. Thank you so
Hi.
much. Hi, there you go. And those were our comments right now. But it's time to go to our second to the last segment. Oh, time flies so fast. But this one is going to be quick, but it's going to be probably challenging for us to do this because we love
Yes.
everybody. But now let's go to our Earth Talk stars.
Talk
Yes, there
stars,
you go.
and you'll
Earth Talk
hear
stars.
the
I remembered
mechanics
to do
for
I
that.
this.
kind of love that sound bite you're using.
Yes,
It's
Thank
very
you.
fun.
Yeah, that stinger. There you go. And I'll turn you
agree.
over to Noy. Hi, Noy.
Yeah, there. Okay, so this is going to be like a quick but interesting segment because this time we're going to ask each member of the panel tonight to give their stars to those delegates who they think are the top performers during the Earth Talk sessions. Okay,
Wow,
so this is a
exciting.
quick, exciting, yes, but then of course a disclaimer, of course, for in the spirit of fairness. Gianna and Angel are not going to say their opinion or insights on, like, for example, Gianna on Roxy, the Miss Philippines Earth 2020, and of course Angel for Lindsay Coffey, Miss Earth USA, and for Isabella Bennett, Miss Earth US Virgin Islands. Of course, we don't want to, of course, in the spirit of fairness and of course credibility for this segment, we're not going to ask them about their opinions on these specific girls. But for the rest of the ladies, they can say their insights. All right. So what's going to happen is we're going to flash the continent or the region, and I'm going to ask each one of you to pick your Earth Talk stars from each region. So are you ready, guys? Are you ready for the bashing tonight?
Oh my
Oh my
God.
God.
Not really. No, but
Okay.
this is
Oh,
this is also a point of like reflection for everybody. So
Yes, yes.
yeah.
And of course, to all of our fans for tonight, while we're doing the Earth Talk Star segment, please key in your favorite Earth Talk performers in the comments section because we're going to also flash your own top picks for the sessions. All right. So let's start with the Earth Talk stars of Angel Strong. Who are your top picks for Team Asian Oceania?
Let's make that bigger. Okay, I'll make that bigger
Yes,
for you so
there.
that everybody can see. There you go. Here you go.
So I am going to be fully transparent. I
Mm.
went in thinking my three Earth Talk stars were going to be Roxy, Philippines, Australia, and Thailand. After watching these three Earth Talks, they kind of changed. And those women still did amazingly well. But I think there was some real surprises. Christina Kai, Miss Singapore, blew me away in her Earth Talk.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely adored everything she said. I was hanging off her every word, and her voice is just very pleasing to listen to. I definitely still give a star to Miss Thailand. Nampet knows what she's talking about. She's very knowledgeable, and she's just someone that has so much credibility. She always goes in knowing what she wants to say and says it well. And then my last one, I think, is actually going to go to India. I think given the circumstances, her entire group, most of them aren't native English speakers, but I think India did very well trying to push through that language barrier and was just so positive the entire time. And it was really heartwarming to see her trying to be an uplifting voice and an uplifting spirit throughout the Earth Talk. It wasn't something I saw from many other women, and I really appreciated it.
There you go. So again, for the record, Angel, your Earth Talk stars for Asian Oceania are, first one is?
So Miss Singapore,
Singapore,
Miss Thailand, and Miss India.
India.
India. Okay, so to the fans, do you agree with Angel Strong's picks for Team Asian Oceania? Key in your comments. Now I'm going to ask one more member of the panel for this region. Maybe Mark. Do you
Are you
have
sure?
your top picks? Are you sure? I am sure.
Are you sure you want to hear my thoughts? Wait.
Are you ready for bashing?
Yeah, okay, I'm ready for bashing. Okay, can I see the pictures? I'm sorry, my reference.
Oh yes,
on
yes,
pictures.
yes. I'm sorry. Yes,
sure.
I'm gonna show it again.
I'd like to give I'd like to commend all of the girls in Team Asia and Oceania because a lot of them really prepared. So when I say prepared, when they were already in their Earth Talk segments, they were giving us facts, they were giving us ideas on what was happening in their country. A lot of them are non-native English speakers. They were trying their best to use their native tongue to explain what's happening in their countries. A lot of them are really confident. A lot of them were also advocacy driven. So my stars, my first star would go to, of course, Christina Kai. And the reason why I'm giving it to her is because there's a balance of I saw a very good, there's growth. I saw her when you interviewed her for the first time. She had that spunk, the personality, but again, she was trying her best to be coherent as well in the first interview. However, in the Earth Talk, she was very coherent. She was on point. And like what Angel said, I wanted to listen more to her. So that's why there's growth. There was tremendous growth. So I commend her for that. I love Christina Kai. I give her that 1 star. Next would be, I'd like to give my next star to Myanmar. And the reason why I'm giving that to Myanmar is this is the perfect example. So girls, please take note. English is not that important when you are being interviewed or when you are sharing your advocacy. If you're comfortable using your own native language, please feel free to use that because Myanmar showed us that you can still be confident, knowledgeable, advocacy driven, even though you're using your native tongue. So English is not that important. What's important is really the passion, the heart. Because if I were a judge, I will look at not what she's saying. I will look at her body language, and she was very confident during that interview. So I'll give that next star to her. And the last star for me would be, I would give it to Nampech as well. Okay, and the reason why I'm giving this next star is, will you question her dedication? That's it. No one will ever question her dedication. She's been doing that project for quite some time. We've been following her for almost 2 years now. So I will no longer question her advocacy. I will also no longer question her knowledge on what's happening in her country. So that's why I'll give her that next star. But a special commendation, although I wanted to give her that star, but I only have 3 left. I'll just give 2 extra points, brownie points, to Japan. Oh my God, she is so cute. She is so
adorable.
Cute. I've been telling this to you in group chat. She is so cute. This is an endearing statement. Okay, just culturally, I'd like to share this. I was sharing to Nonoy that I find Japan so cute. Okay, that I feel like I want to be her friend, and I want to be with her. That's the type of personality that she was exuding on screen. So again, girls, please take note. It's how you project yourself on screen. So that's how we viewed her.
She is.
So that's one.
She is.
And another brownie commendation to Australia. Okay, she was confident, she was well spoken, and I really loved her in this interview. So there. So again, a disclaimer: I will not give a comment on my own country, just to be fair to all the girls.
Yes.
Right. So that's it.
Yeah, so I think bottom line here for Asian Oceania is that Angel and Mark highlighted the importance of like having that natural charm when you like present during the Earth Talks, because I think the technical know-how of like about the environment, about the pandemic, I mean that's supposed to be a given. The delegates are supposed to do their homework, but I think what really matters during the Earth Talk sessions is actually the delivery. That's number one, and the natural charm or aura when they like deliver their answers online. So really great choices. So for all of the fans, do you agree with the choices? Okay, Shane Morales Garcia would like to mention his choices for this region. It's India, Thailand, and Australia. Thank you for sharing that. Do we still have other ones? From
Yes,
Perth?
many.
Yes, from Perth, we have Singapore, India, and Thailand. Really great choices. And one more, maybe, if you still have one more. Astar Abalayan goes for Indonesia. For me, is a standout. Really great one.
Last
Okay,
one.
Wilson Urios also would like to mention Miss Indonesia, Pakistan, and Japan. Really great choices. Thank you for sharing. Now let's move on to our next region, our next continent. This time I'm going to
Yes.
ask Gianna to give her stars to Team Europe. Gianna, who are the standouts here for you?
Just a moment.
Ooh. Ooh.
Ooh.
Well, I will admit I didn't watch the entire Earth Talk for all of them, but the ones that stood out to me based on what I did see were, of course, for me, Netherlands, Tessa, and Portugal. I think her name was Camila.
Mhm.
Um, just because when it comes to Earth Talks or just anything you do with a pageant, what I learned is that it's not just what you say and how you deliver it, it's your overall aura. It's your overall aura. It's how you dress, it's how you do your makeup, it's your background, especially with the virtual pageant, it's how good your camera is, that is affected as well. The quality of your technology, as much as you don't want that to affect the overall performance, that's what I saw. I've been following Tessa ever since, even before Miss Earth started. And she's been in the game for a long time. She knows her pageantry. So she already has her signature look. She has that charm. And all of the girls that are, from what I've heard, she's also one of the friendliest of all of the delegates as well. And that friendliness shows when she delivers something, when she says something. It's like she's talking to her friend. She's always smiling. And that charm is just, I love it. I love it. I was really charmed by her. As for Portugal, same thing. You can see that she really wants it. She is well researched. She looked great during her Earth Talks. Yeah, she looked amazing. And, even though for a lot of Team Europe, English is not their first language, for Portugal, she just owned up to it. She just really delivered, however, the best that she could. I feel like she's in it to win it, and she's an underdog that a lot of people are overlooking.
Yes, we took it. So it's actually, for the record, Gianna, it's Netherlands and Portugal for you.
Portugal.
Yes.
Choices. To our fans, do you agree with Gianna? Comment in your choices. For Wilson Urios, okay. He agrees, Gianna. Netherlands, of course, Sweden is part of his choices, and Portugal. Thank you, Wilson, for sharing. And for Shane, Netherlands again, Belgium, and Portugal. Consistent choices, Gianna. Good job. Perth as well. Portugal, Netherlands, and Finland. Wow, good. Really great choices. And for Starland, Netherlands is a standout. She is really prepared for it. We agree. As what Gianna mentioned, she knows her pageantry. She knows her stuff. She knows how to navigate in this entire pageant dynamic of like doing like interviews and doing the sessions. So we agree with Netherlands. Okay, let's now
Can I just
ask
add?
Emma.
Can I just add? Sorry
Yeah,
for
sige, yeah.
Netherlands as well. Going beyond the Earth Talks, Netherlands has. I mean, when you're doing a virtual pageant, you need to be posting a lot of photographs. You need to be posting a lot of
Mhm.
Yeah.
videos. And that's also what Tessa is on. She is doing photo shoot after photo shoot after photo shoot, putting out these amazing photos. And that's what's really going to make your mark on pageant fans. And I think that's why I really started following her as well when it comes to Miss Earth.
Yes, actually, that is a really great strategy on her end because she keeps the fans like looking forward to what she's going to post the next day. I mean, it gets the fans hooked with her content almost every
Right.
day. So yes, we
Right.
agree with that, Gianna. Thank you for sharing your yes, Angel.
I'm sorry. I also want to go. I also want to say something about Tessa, and this has specifically to do with her Earth Talk, just because the way she speaks is so different from everyone else. Everything she says is very narrative, which makes it just so it sticks with you a lot more. And
Mhm.
I loved it. It's such a good strategy because quite literally, I was talking to one of my friends, and she's like, "Oh, how are those Earth Talks going?" Because she knows I'm obsessed with them, and I'm like. I was literally quoting Tessa word for word, and it was so
Yeah.
amazing. And it's because she has this narrative structure to all of her answers that even if she takes a pause to try to collect her thoughts, you're still in the story. And that is
Mhm.
such an
Mhm.
amazing strategy. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Netherlands blew me away.
Wow, really bold statement on Netherlands. Thank you, Angel, for sharing that. And I think all of the fans who mentioned their top choices for Europe region, they all agree. Like Carmel Tuy, Netherlands, Portugal, and Belarus. Thank you for sharing that. All right, Eman, what about your choices for Europe?
Need I say more? Actually, I agree. I agree with the choices, the Gianna's choices. I'm also on board with Tessa. She was among the first eco angels we interviewed, and even though that during that time she has not gained a lot of traction yet, but she was already a standout the way she talked. And I agree, Angel, that she really drives, she really takes you in with her narrative, with the way she speaks. There's a reason why she is a communications consultant. She's really
Yeah.
good at what she does. But also, I would also like to give maybe, as Mark called it, the cookie to other candidates from Europe, because I also had the pleasure of talking with them aside from watching them on in Earth Talks. In fact, in on Miss Earth Ground, we were able to interview a lot from the Europe continent, right? So I think I
Yeah.
will also give a star. Running up there is also Belgium, because, as Gianna said, you should also be able to present yourself well
Mm.
whenever you go in front of the camera, especially if it's a virtual pageant. And Belgium is always on it, always on point,
Agree.
always prepared. Especially during the Earth Talk, I loved how she set up her whole room
Agree.
and her whole background in
Agree.
order to be pleasant. Whenever she did the Earth Talk, her marble mug that is reusable, and then her the painting, and then of course the way she carried herself, and that's really good for her. Also, I'm going to give
Emma, and
some.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you a bit
Yes,
because
yes,
I'd like
yes.
to add more on Belgium. She's Kimberly, right? I also saw
Kimberly,
Yeah.
tremendous growth with her when you
right.
interviewed her for the first time, and and we saw her Earth Talk. It felt like it was a total turnaround. So the aura that she's been projecting, her manner of speaking, she has improved a lot. And I don't know
Hmm.
what her team did, but I'd like to give a kudos to her team. Okay, she looks like a spokesperson during the Earth Talk. So
Yeah.
I love that.
That is true. I no,
I will
no, no.
say I was kind of a midway point. I also interviewed her between your guys' interview and the Earth Talk, and
Yeah.
her confidence is just growing each and every time she goes
Correct.
on one of these
Right?
interviews.
Agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely
I
incredible.
Agree.
I
Loving it.
agree. I
Loving it.
Agree.
agree. There you go.
Agree.
So yes, so we're all on board with Belgium as well. Also, I would like to give another cookie. Is that what how we call the runner ups for the stars? Also to Belarus, because she's on the other side of the spectrum, because as Gianna said, and as I agree, that the candidates have to present themselves well, but there are also some of them who just appear on screen natural, without makeup or with minimal makeup,
Effortless.
and look
I agree.
absolutely gorgeous, but with also with something to say, and that is also Belarus. You know,
Yeah.
she can wake up like that and appear on camera and talk endlessly about her passion for the environment, and she also knows what she's talking about.
Agree.
So I also give my star to Belarus. There you go, Noy.
So again, Eman, your choices are Netherlands,
Netherlands, Belgium,
Belgium.
and Belarus.
Oh, great choices. Thank you, Eman. Now let's move on to Africa. Team Africa this
Yes. Oh,
time. All right.
exciting.
Let me ask Angel this time. Who are your top choices for Africa?
So I'm just gonna come out and say it. Longo Katete completely everything she said was amazing.
Yeah.
She is such an incredible speaker. She knows what she's talking about. She has a mission.
Agree.
I think the best way to describe her is combining Christina Kai's fun and bubbly personality with everything Aman was just saying about Belarus. She knows what she's talking about. And I think that's a really powerful combination, especially as Longo is having this passion and this bubbly personality, but she's talking about serious things, which I think really pulls people into her atmosphere and makes people excited, even if it's something rather depressing she's talking about, you're still excited to be learning about it. And I think that's an incredibly powerful skill to have.
Mm-hmm.
So she definitely gets my star. She gets the biggest star from me.
Yes, is it okay, Angel, if I add more? I just have
Yes.
something that I'd like to tell about South Africa. Here's the thing. Her pictures are a disservice to her. Why? Because she is so gorgeous in motion. I just have to tell
Right.
that. She's so beautiful in motion. And it's consistent when you interviewed her in Miss Earth Crown, and we also saw her on Earth Talk. She has a very beautiful face. So I'd like
Right.
to have a call out to the South African team. Please make sure that her pictures are beautiful because she's extremely beautiful in motion. So, and she's very convincing to me as a speaker. So I don't have anything bad to say about her knowledge and her spokesperson's ability. So kudos to her.
A big star.
I have something to
Sure.
add about Lumo too. So I spoke to her during my Miss Philippines Earth journey, and we were
Wow.
messaging since then. Right before the Miss Earth talks, she actually messaged me and said, "What do I have to prepare? What do I have to do?" And she said she really wants to do good in it. So I told her, don't be nervous. I know that your topic is about health. Just research about the health in your own country. She said she was a little bit nervous, and then when I saw her Earth talk, I'm like, "Girl, are you kidding me? She killed it." And not just that, when you talk to her, I agree with you, Sir Marky. She is the definition of the smiling with your eyes. She just can light up a room with her smile, and I feel like that's why it's so engaging to talk to her. So yeah, I love her. Love her.
Like,
Yes.
genuinely and honestly, Longo is one of the most passionate women I've gotten the opportunity to talk to in Mr. Beauties. Everybody wants this. I think Longo is the person who is probably fighting the hardest for it. She is reaching out to fans. She's reaching out to people saying, okay, what do I need to prepare? What am I trying to get better at? And I think that's a really important skill when you're going into Miss Earth, because
Right.
everyone's doing their best, but
Right.
knowing where you need to improve and working to improve that is what gives you an edge. So
Exactly.
kudos to Longo. Absolutely adore her.
Yes, we actually agree with that. Again, I'd just like to follow through what Angel said. I think for all of the ladies, we will have to remember that the Earth Talks, it's not really a Q&A portion, so to say. It's actually more of a conversation. So I
Right.
think like the fluidity of the delivery, making sure that you're able to converse, follow through, the statements, and have that natural charm just by being yourself during the Earth Talk sessions. That's going to matter a lot. And I think I agree with what you mentioned, Angel, about Lungo. She embodies all of these things during the Earth Talk sessions. So great job to Lungo. Now, I'd like to ask Marky, since you mentioned already something about Lungo, do you have any other choices for Africa?
Nigeria is still on top for me, aside from Lungo. She's very beautiful. I like her personality. Again, I saw growth the moment you interviewed her for the first time as compared to how she did in the Earth Talk. So Nigeria is still there for me. A very big surprise for me is Zimbabwe. I think she was partnered with Cote d'Ivoire, if I'm not mistaken.
Cote d'Ivoire.
Cote d'Ivoire.
Cote d'Ivoire.
I'm so sorry if we mispronounced
Ivory
the name of
Coast.
the country.
Cote d'Ivoire. Cote
Cote
d'Ivoire.
d'Ivoire. There you
Cote
Cote
go.
d'Ivoire. Cote d'Ivoire.
With the hand gesture.
Cote d'Ivoire.
And the reason why Zimbabwe was a surprise to me because the way she spoke she was very on point, very prepared.
Yeah.
And you see it in her body language, you see it in the manner in which she's speaking, the facts that she's stating, and her coherence. So I was totally blown away by Zimbabwe. So kudos to Zimbabwe on that.
Zimbabwe was also one of my stars, my other stars. And I think the thing about Zimbabwe is she takes a pause before she answers. And I think this is something more girls need to learn how to do in pageantry in general. I do pageant coaching for younger girls, and it's so hard to get girls to just accept it's okay to take a pause and collect what your thoughts are and what you want to say. And Zimbabwe did this extremely well. She would take a pause, take a breath, and then when she answered, she was perfect. Everything she said, she didn't have to ramble. She didn't have extra information. She knew exactly what she went in to say, what her point was, and got it across concise and beautifully. I loved that.
There you go. So again, thank you for sharing, Angel and Marky. Now, let's see the fans' top picks. Perth says Nigeria, South Africa, and Liberia. Actually, Liberia, I'd like to mention, is a powerful communicator online. I mean, just the presence. Just
She
the
is
presence.
also powerful.
Did a really great job. Nigeria, of course, for Jay.
Yes.
For Shane, South Africa, Nigeria, and Zimbabwe, Marky. You have the same choices as Shane. And Joseph Cernal, Zimbabwe for me. He agrees she is so genuine and always on point. Thank you, Joseph. Ben CM, my top choices for Africa are Zimbabwe, South Africa, and in fairness, we have a consistent choices with the fans online.
True.
So good choices, panel. Carmel Tuy, South Africa, the best from Africa, then after Nigeria. Okay,
And last one.
Carmel. And one last, Wilson Urios, Ghana, Zimbabwe, and Cameroon. All right, good choices as well. Thank you for sharing. Now, let's move on to our last continent, which is the Americas. Okay, I'm going to ask this time, Gianna, who are your top choices for this region?
There are a lot.
A lot
I
of
know
them.
there's so many. I actually co-moderated one of them. For me, based on what I saw for the Americas, USA, Puerto Rico, and US Virgin Islands. In terms of USA, same thing. As soon as I found out she had been crowned as Miss USA, I saw all of her videos. Immediately you're drawn to her because she is beautiful, she's stunning. But she's also very, very educated, and she has very piercing eyes when she speaks, making you want to believe everything that she says. And I feel like, we have queens who are very sweet, who approach things very charmingly, but she seems like she's just strong with her opinions. And I think that's what we need to really make a change in this world. That's the kind of queen we need. Somebody who is going to pierce you with her thoughts and make you believe them. And of course, her setup was amazing. So she's definitely one of them. US Virgin Islands is so charming. She's so sweet. Fun fact, even Roxy messaged me and was like, she's so cute. I love her.
She fangirly on Isabella, huh?
Yeah, she's great. So as soon as Roxy told me that, I was like, I have to watch this. I have to watch her. And she can lay down the facts just like that. I feel like I can ask her anything and she already has an answer for it. And the way she communicates as well, it's so easy to understand. It's really like she's talking to a friend as well. Like, this is what I know. I'm telling you this. So yeah, Isabella, you're great. She just commented. And this one, Noi, I messaged you when I was co-moderating this because she took my breath away. Puerto Rico, Crystal.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Like, if I had it, I said I didn't have a top 5 at all, but she is up there for sure for me. There was a point when I co-moderated. Another candidate was a little bit nervous, and
Yes.
before she started answering her question, she acknowledged that candidate and said,
Agree.
"Don't worry, we're all on the same boat. Don't
Yeah.
be nervous. We're just having fun here."
Agree.
And
Right,
immediately
right.
I was like, "This girl, like, oh, she has everything that you can." She has everything on the checklist. She looked amazing. She didn't encounter any connection problems. Everything was clear. She can communicate well, both in Spanish and in English. And she knew her facts. So there were even some points during the discussion where she felt like she hadn't answered enough. And she would say, "Excuse me, can I add on to what I just said?" And for a delegate to have the courage to do that, you also know that they're very passionate about what they were saying. So Crystal, like, I still get goosebumps thinking about her performance. She
Agree.
was amazing.
Yes.
Agree.
Yeah.
Is it okay,
We
Gianna, if I
actually,
add more to some of the
yes, go,
delegates
go.
that you
Yes,
mentioned?
yes.
I really love the U.S. Virgin Islands as well. You know what? Every time she speaks, she sounds like the U.S. Secretary of State. I love, I love the manner in which she speaks. It's like when she talks about something, I'm like, okay, all right,
You will
okay,
have to
I'll take
listen to
note.
her.
You really have to
Yeah.
listen to her, all right? And I agree as well with Cristal Badillo of Puerto Rico. She is very amazing. She empathizes really well. And I think I'd like the girls to take note of this, since the Earth Talk is just a conversation. You're just having a great time and you're just sharing what's happening in your country. That's one way of making sure to you feel your colleagues at ease with you, really empathize. So that blew me away as well. So she's very sensitive. So I think that's one of the characteristics of a future Miss Earth as well. The future Miss Earth actually knows how to empathize. So that she has Puerto Rico has a very big chance of doing a back-to-back if she continues that same performance.
And Isabella Brie Bennett would like to say thank you po. Of course. Isabella, you're welcome. So, Marky and Gianna, thank you for sharing your top picks. Now, let's move on to Eman. Eman,
Oh,
what about
okay.
you?
For me, actually, I agree with them, but I agree with them on all their choices. But let me also add one lady to that, and I would like to give a star also to Venezuela, because for the mere fact that Venezuela surprised me with her ability to communicate in English that's not her native language, but she was very effective in it. And she also has this way of talking where you know that she's focusing on not only what she's saying, but also on you. And this
Yeah.
is also evident on her other materials aside from her performance during the Earth Talk. For example, her introduction video was very well executed, and she was able to give a good speech to introduce herself and her country in that video. So, aside from all the other choices of our co panelists that I agree with, I also would like to give a star to Venezuela.
Yes.
Can I add to that as well,
Yes,
Sir
Yes,
go, go.
yes,
Eman?
yes.
Yeah, so I was the co-moderator of Venezuela. It was one of my tops as well. I forgot to mention, but as soon as I came into that Zoom call, she said, "Gianna, English is not my first language, so I'm sorry if I'm not able to communicate well." And of course, we were like, "It's okay, don't worry about it." Then when she started speaking, it seemed like she, she could talk for days. She had so much information, and that just shows that her preparation is everything.
Yeah.
Her
Exactly.
preparation gave her the confidence to be able to speak in a language that she's not comfortable with. So that also shows how much she wants to win the crown as well. The fact that she stepped out of her comfort zone and made sure she was prepared to step out of her comfort zone.
Hmm.
So yeah, she definitely deserves a star too.
Yep.
Yes.
I'll
There
add
you
more if you
go.
don't mind, Emma, and I'll add more a special commendation to very quickly, since it's the Americas. I'd like to commend Panama. Panama is
Ah,
Anayansi, right?
yes,
Anayansi. And the
yes,
reason
yes.
why she struck me the most is, aside from the fact that English is not her first language, she tried her best to communicate well. And she sounded really coherent. And the best part that I loved about her Earth Talk was she said, I think this is not the exact line, but it goes like this: you don't need to be a Miss Earth to be a spokesperson for the environment. You could do something about now. And I was like, okay, that gave me chills. And it sounded really confident. It also sounded really sincere. And it really matches what she's been doing outside. So that's why it totally struck me the most. So there.
Yes. Actually, one more thing about like the Earth Talks is that this session is actually like a big game changer, right? Because like one example that I was actually surprised with was Bolivia. It was my first time to hear her talk. I didn't have any expectations of Bolivia before the Earth Talks, but then when I heard her talk, oh my God, she can speak. So again, the Earth Talk sessions are a really great platform to, number one, for the ladies to be heard, and number two, for the really great speakers to really step up and really like put yourselves out there, right? Now let's see what the fans think about the Americas, the Team Americas, their choices for this region for Mr. USA, Costa Rica, and Puerto Rico are his choices. Let's have Shane. Yes, Gianna. Shane agrees, and Puerto Rico. OMG. Yes, thank you,
Actually,
Shane.
those are not his only choices. He had that was just an addition. Yeah, Shane has a top 5.
Top 5 for America.
Yes.
So top 5: Costa Rica, Panama, USA, Venezuela, and the U.S. Virgin Islands.
And
right?
You know what? I
Okay.
think I'm sorry. I agree with Shane about Costa Rica. Costa Rica was so charming. Another example of someone who projects herself really well.
Correct.
I also want to say
Angel.
something about Costa Rica.
Right?
And I know I promised not to talk about the Americas, but I do want to say, I think one of the, was it with you, Noi? I don't remember who it was with. I was talking with someone about Costa Rica, and part of her charm is she's just so excitable. She's so ready to talk, and she will talk. And it shows an unwavering sense of confidence in her voice that I really appreciated and I really liked. And she's just adorable. I love her.
Actually, one insider about Costa Rica, I interviewed her like one-on-one on Miss Earth Crown. Right after her interview, we spoke like 1 hour more, like after the live. You didn't know that, guys. As in, about anything and everything under the sun, about like the universe, about like her love for the sea, about her love for the moon, like all of these things. So again, this is one girl that you will know that you can actually identify that is really in love with Mother Earth, and that is really something that's really really good about her. Joseph Cernal mentions definitely USA for me. Lindsay is so into it. She is so raw, passionate with her causes, and you can see her sincerity and genuineness. And Alison Perez, Isabella Bennett, we love you, Miss U.S. Virgin Islands. Thank you, Alison. And for Connie, her choices are USA, U.S. Virgin Islands, and Venezuela.
Yes, I agree with majority of their choices, Noy. I'm sorry, I have to talk about USA as well. USA is a combination of beauty, charm, advocacy. I don't know. She's like the complete package, and she speaks really, really well. She's very sincere. She sounded down to earth to me, so it feels like I could connect with her easily. So that's how she exuded during the interview. And here's the thing, she wasn't even trying to overpower all of the girls in her during the interview. That's the beauty of it. There's still humility there. So although we know that she can speak really well, there's humility as well. No one outshone anyone in that interview. So kudos to Lindsay.
Yes, actually a really good point there, Marky, because again, the Earth Talks, you will have to learn how to like turn-taking skills, how to converse with the other ladies, like connect with them, because again, it's not a Q&A session, it's a conversation with other delegates as well. Yeah. So good point on that, Marky. Let's have the next one. You have other like choices from
there
the
you
fan.
go. So Connie, after Connie, we have Carmel. Last one is from Carmel.
Okay, so for Carmel, USA, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, and Bolivia. Argentina, though, very photogenic. We agree. Thank you, Carmel, for your choices.
I'm sorry, no. I will have to address the elephant in the room about Argentina. And let's do real talk here.
Okay.
Argentina I would like to tell the team of Argentina to just effectively use the translator. I know that she's very well knowledgeable. And I also followed some of her interviews in Spanish. Take note, I did not understand a word in her other interviews in Spanish. And I know that she's very confident, also a very good speaker. However, it did not translate well during the Earth Talk. Okay, so she should have maximized her translator. That's it. I know she'll do well in the next round. So please, girls, English is not a prerequisite. Okay, what's important is the advocacy in your heart. That's it.
Yes.
Love that.
Again,
Love that, Mike.
coming from a judge himself. Thank you, Marky,
Oh
for
yes.
the insight.
Listen to the Miss Earth judge.
Yes. Okay. So we still have more, Eman, from the fans.
Yes,
Or
that's
this is
the
the
last.
last
That
one?
was the last. Yes,
Okay. So again, to all of the
yes.
fans, thank you for sharing your top picks, your Earth Talk stars for tonight, and to the panel. Thank you very much for your brave and bold top choices. And it's really hard to
Let's
reveal
see
your
who's
top
going to
choices.
bash and message us later.
Yes, open for bashing after the
But I
show.
think the fans agree. So yeah.
Yes, okay, so that's the last part of our segment. Eman, let's move on to our most exciting part of the session. What is it?
That wasn't the most exciting yet. Everything has been so exciting so far.
I
But
know.
if that's not exciting yet, then let's go to our finale for tonight. And this is what we call the MECQ. No, this is not modified enhanced community quarantine, but this is
Parang
okay.
Wow.
There you go.
All right.
the greatest showman of
Amazing.
The
Philippines.
greatest
Absolutely.
showman. Yes, this is
I like that thing.
MECQ.
Dancing.
Wait,
All right.
let me
All right.
change
So
that
Eman,
banner. There you go.
let me take
Yes, no,
over the
go. This
segment.
is yours, Mark. Yes.
Yes. So again, the MECQ is the type of MECQ that you love. To our followers who have stayed tuned, thank you so much, because we have a
Yes.
surprise for you. You will have a chance to win something, because MECQ stands for our Miss Earth Crown Quiz. It's our chance, your chance to engage with us. We will be posting questions, sort of a quiz, about some Miss Earth fan facts or knowledge, and depending on your answers, you will get a prize. So but I have a few rules first. Number one, if you are to join this contest now, unfortunately, this is not available in other nations, only in the Philippines. And in the Philippines, to be specific, this will only be available to our friends and Earthlings within the Metro Manila. But please,
For now,
disclaimer,
yes.
since this is it's like our initial MECQ game. In our future Roundup series, we will still have MECQ, and we will make sure that we will have prizes available for our international fans, right? So that's one. So for now, only our Metro Manila folks will be able to avail of this, because there will be prizes, okay? And later we'll show you what these prizes will be, because there's also a story behind those prizes. So that's the second one. The third one would be, I will be asking the question, but you have to wait for my cue. So let's say I will ask the question and I'd like you to type go. So wait for that cue, go. So what will you type? You have to type your name, the location. So of course, location, hopefully within Metro Manila, and your answer, right? And if you answer first, then you'll win the prize, right? So we have our friends and colleagues, our Miss Earth Crown staff, who will check and verify the responses, right?
Which
So
is
those are
also
some of the simple rules. Anything else you'd like to add, Eman? You're saying something?
No, it was just funny because he's saying our staff will check the answers, which means that's also us. There you
That's
go.
us, yes.
So
The staff refers to us, actually.
but yeah, but
No,
I
Mark
think
is just throwing you under the bus, Emin. You have to do it.
that's correct.
Multitasking.
The boss says, okay, so we have to do it. Yes, but I think all they have to type in are their answers and their location, since they already have their names
Oh,
on
yeah.
there.
Okay.
Unless
Answers and
it's not their
location.
real name. Yeah. And the rule is the first to be able to comment the answer wins. Okay, so the first answer that lands on the comment section will win the prize. Okay, there
Okay,
you go,
sure.
Mark.
Agree. So for our first, not the question yet, for the prize for this first
Oh, this is
question, because
exciting. I
there's
want
a
it. Oh,
story behind the prize. Let's start with the prize first. If you answer this
okay.
question, your prize would be actually coming from Gianna, right? And the prize is the pageant shoes from Queen Gianna. Gianna, maybe you'd like to share about a story behind the pageant shoes and why give it away. So your
So I
floor.
guess I'm the sponsor that you guys have been mentioning from the
One
beginning.
of
Maybe
the yeah.
Gianna. Thanks to our sponsor, Gianna
I guess you
Llanes.
are. Thank you very much.
So yeah, well, I actually moved to a new place very recently, and I have been decluttering. I posted before how people would feel if I gave away some of my old shoes and dresses and accessories that I used in former pageants. These particularly, I used them during my Miss Mandaluyong 2019 journey, where I actually got first runner up. And then when I started training with Kagandahang Flores with KF, these were the shoes that I began training with. But Tito Rogelio Flores actually said that I should probably buy new ones, just to treat myself before I join Miss Philippines Earth. So I haven't used these ones in a while. They're still in great condition. And for any aspiring beauty queens, I feel like they could be very helpful.
Yeah, right. Very
Yeah.
true.
All right, thank you. So to those who are interested to win the shoes, okay, so please make sure that you follow the instructions, write the answer and your location. Okay, so are you ready for that question? Again, please
Yes,
wait
yes,
for
yes,
my
yes.
cue. And I'd like to hear, please feel free to comment on the comment section. Would like to hear from you. So Eman, our first question. First
Okay,
question,
so here is
please.
our first question. Is, all right, please read it, Mark.
Our first question. Name a country that is having its debut on Miss Earth 2020. Go. Name a
Okay,
country
name a
that is
country
having its
that
debut
is having its
on Miss
debut
Earth
on Miss Earth
Miss Earth
2020.
2020.
How
Go.
many
Ready,
seconds,
set,
You
go.
know,
Mark?
whenever there's a first commenter, yeah. So, but the thing is, you don't need if you just want to have fun and participate and blew other people's chances away. I mean, blow other people's chances out. You can just join for fun. You know, you don't have to be from Manila or from the Philippines. But if you know the answer, you can definitely join. Okay, Starla Abalayan. Okay, is saying yes. What does it mean? Okay, Abalayan was the first to shout, give the answer. Is she correct, Mark?
The answer is definitely Syria. You're
There you
correct. So Starla
go.
Abalayan wins the
You know
pageant
what?
shoes of
I had the
Gianna.
feeling, to be honest, Gianna, I had the feeling that these shoes were meant for Starla.
I thought
Yeah.
so too. I think so too.
I had a feeling. So, Starla, we are going to contact you in a while. And congratulations, you now are the new owner of Gianna's pre-loved
Yes.
pageant
So
shoes.
Starla, just a
Congratulations.
cue. Since you already won, you're automatically disqualified for the second game. All right.
Yeah.
No
I
longer
hope you enjoy
qualified because you
them,
already have a prize.
Starla.
Yes,
Congratulations,
but
Starla. We will be pinging you and we'll be asking
but
for
thank
your
you for
address.
those who answered also. So we have Mr. Hughes and Carmel
Oh,
also tried
actually,
to
Mark,
answer.
Eman, Starla mentioned that she is also into pageantry also.
Woohoo! I hope she will be able to use
Perfect.
Gianna's shoes.
A beauty queen as well. So congratulations. We are happy that you got these shoes.
Woo!
Thank
All
you.
right.
And thank you, Gianna, of course. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Oh, you are
Gianna.
always welcome. More coming for sure.
Yay!
Yay!
All right. Are you ready for more? There's another one. Wait, there's more. Right. And this next question, when we ask this, there's a certain price, but the price, we have two prices. Okay. First one would be a special, an electronic greeting card. Oh, what's that? Oh, I'm sorry. The first one would be from our sponsor, a perfume and a personalized digital card coming from Angel Strong. I'd like to hear first the story behind the personalized card, Angel. Why did you
I
choose?
would love to have a. I would love to have that for myself. Can I join
Same
the
here. Why
personalized
did you
digital
choose
card from Angel?
to have or gift someone a personalized greeting card? There's a story to that, right?
So, one, like I said earlier, I cannot ship things outside of the USA, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But also, I had for a really long time been struggling to find an eco-friendly alternative to, we call them comp cards, signature cards. There's a lot of names for them. But my ultimate solution has been digitally signing comp cards and texting them, emailing them, and sending them through social media. So my comp card basically has two pictures of me. It does have like a front and a back. It just isn't like a card front and back.
Yeah.
But it's also very bee themed because Be a Bee Advocate was my original advocacy when I joined Miss Earth for the first time back in 2014. So
Amazing.
All
Thank you
right.
so
Thank you
much.
so much.
A
Again, another
personal
eco-friendly way of getting in touch with our fans worldwide. So
Yes.
aside from
And
that,
of course,
okay, that's coupled.
mm-hmm.
That price is coupled with another one, which is a sponsored gift, a perfume from one of our friends. Nonay, maybe you'd like to share to us what that perfume is.
This is a scent. This is a bottle of perfume. Okay, I'm the model. I'm the new product endorser of Sense of Humor. Thank you, Sense of Humor, for your generosity. This is going to be yours if you answer the question correctly tonight. Thank you to Sense of Humor. Am I the perfect endorser? I think I am.
Yes, you are.
doing great.
I have two actually. I have two. Actually, two bottles.
I'm looking at two screens right now. There you go. Thank you. Oh, two, not just one, but two.
Two
Amazing.
prizes.
I so want to join
Personalized
this round because I
card.
want to get the perfumes and the digital card from Angel.
Sorry,
Go.
we're disqualified. We cannot
Go ahead,
join.
Mark.
So, if you answer this question right, then you will get the personalized greeting card and the perfume. Again, please make sure that you are within the Metro Manila. So, and what is that question, Emin? Let me read that. Wait for my cue. I have a cue. The question is...
You should have listened to our discussion earlier because the question is type in
The question
the
is,
comment
type
section.
in the comments in the comment section the 5 African countries participating this year. 5 African countries participating this year. Go.
There are
Go.
more than 5.
Again,
So you
it
just
should
need
just
to
be
type
5.
5 countries. Come on.
Come on, please type in your answers. Someone is asking Carmel Thuy if is it for men or women, and the reason why it's 2, it's both for men and for women.
His or her. Yes, his and hers.
It's his or hers. So Carmel, you still have the chance. Okay, there you go.
5
So type
countries.
in 5 countries. Okay, there you go. While they're typing in, Starla is saying, thank you, Gianna, for the shoes. And of course, thank you, Gianna. O, diba? Right? Starla Abalayan, I hope you enjoy. All right. Are you typing or you guys are still... Oh, we have one winner perhaps already. Wilson typed in 5 countries. Mark, what are those?
These are Ghana, Cameroon, Zimbabwe, South Africa, and Zambia. I think we have a winner. Congratulations to
Yay!
Wilson. Congratulations, Wilson.
Congratulations.
We'll be reaching out to you. We'll be getting your
Carmel.
email address and your personal address because we will be sending the prizes or the gifts to you.
Right. Carmel, next time type in faster because Carmel came in second again. Okay. So
Sayang.
Carmel answered Cote
Missed it
d'Ivoire,
by a
South
few
Africa,
seconds, I guess.
Nigeria, Zimbabwe, and Libya. So
All
yes, you
right.
are welcome. Wilson.
You're welcome,
You're welcome, Wilson. I hope
Wilson.
you enjoyed that. You know what? That's what's in store for you. And this is just our first in many of our series. As much as we want to continue on, we might, because we still have a lot of things to talk about, we might finish tomorrow. So we have to stop it now.
That's true.
But,
Oh my God.
but,
Yes.
but, we would like to give a chance first. We'll give the floor to our queens, Angel and Gianna, to promote anything that they want to promote, or if they have an advocacy that they'd like us to support or to follow. Probably start with Angel.
Oh, was that a random generation of who got to start? So, hello, I'm Angel. If you want to follow me on social media, it's at @Ann Earth. Sorry, at Ann _Earth _Angel. I am completely rebranding my personal page. I'm very excited about it. And my advocacy is actually Earth Angels, which I think fits our theme very well this year. And essentially what I'm trying to do is work on government policy actions, especially here in my home state of Nebraska, trying to get solar paneling into our schools and otherwise protecting the Ogallala Aquifer and the Tepuri Forest. So if you want to follow me, I am constantly trying to drum up support. And if you know anybody in the US who would like to help, please tag them in my posts because I'm constantly looking for new people to help me get my message across. And it would be awesome to have some Earthlings join me.
Thank you so much, Angel. We're happy to support you. If you need anything, feel free to ping us and we'll promote anything and everything about you. Thank you, Angel.
Wonderful.
All right. And of course, let me turn you over now to Gianna.
Well, before anything, thank you very much, Miss Earth Crown, for having me on your very first episode of your Roundup. I think Angel can agree, even beyond being candidates, we are huge pageant fans. So to be able to discuss, what's going on with Miss Earth with you guys has been amazing and has been so much fun. Thank you to everybody that has been continuing to support me, even post Miss Philippines Earth. You can catch me on all of my social media. It's at Gianna Llanes. Please continue to support my initiative as well, Bukhao. So I did make an Instagram page for it already. It's at Bukhao.org. My advocacy is natural disaster risk education, and even beyond that, I'm distributing relief goods to marginalized communities across the Philippines. Please continue to support the organizations that I'm working with too. Awan PH, which is a youth-led organization, Pantawid COVID Project, which also distributes relief goods to various communities, even beyond Metro Manila now, and Protect the Frontline, which donates meals and necessities to all of our frontliners who are continuing to fight the COVID-19. So you can check out all of their social media on my accounts. And please continue to listen to my radio show as well on Wave 89.1. That's at Gianna. At Wave 89.1 FM for our social media. I'm on The Vibe. That's the name of the show from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Continue to catch all of my activities and my Eco Angel Sisters activities on the Miss Philippines Earth page, and catch all of the continuing Miss Earth talks. So I will be co-moderating the next one as well tomorrow at 8 p.m. Philippine time. I'll see all of you guys there.
Yay!
Thank you so much. Okay.
Amazing, Gianna. Amazing as always.
You too, Angel. Thank you. Thank you for
We love
having
you,
us.
Angel. We love
Thank
you,
you
Gianna.
so much for having us.
Gianna Angel.
Your time is really precious, I understand. Also, thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to hear your thoughts. Okay, so I hope that this is not the last. Okay, but I'd like to just hear some shout outs from our fans. According to Shane, he loved this episode. Great job, MEC team. Angel, Gianna, congratulations. And speaking of loving the episode, I'd like to encourage all of our fans. What do you want to see in our future sessions? What do you want to see in our future Earth Talks? We'd like to hear your thoughts. We'd like to hear your suggestions. We're very open to that. Please make sure that you keep the comment section busy. We'd like to hear your extra activities that you'd like to see. Anything that you'd like to see, please feel free to comment, and we'll try our best to make it happen. All right. So This was a very productive and very fun discussion. And thank you so much to our Earthlings for participating. I hope that this is not the last, that you participate and engage with us. We'll have more and we'll give you more because we love you and we love Miss Earth. All right. So with that, on behalf of my colleagues, Eman and Nonoy, this is Mark. Marky, your editor-in-chief. Hi, Dexter.
Good, it's bye-bye time.
Hello. And
This is
our
moment.
resident cat, our mascot, is saying hi. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us and you engaging us. Please message us or comment on the thread to what you want to hear next time. We love you all and good night. This is us signing off. Bye, guys.